Nice to hear from you, my friend. Okay. Hey, hands are down. I think we are gate, good to go.
Oh, Andrew?
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one left?
There's a question, yeah.
Oh, fire away. I didn't see it. Fire away. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, it's something with the technology. I just wanted to give you a little bit of sharing from the little homework that you gave me for dissolving the disappointment feeling during the lights that I was experiencing. So I kind of went into it, and I was truly not expecting anything at this point. I dropped all expectation, and I allowed the feeling of disappointment to dissolve. But then something really interesting happened, so that the lights did come back, but in a completely different form. And it was like watching a static TV display with some little lightning flashes, just small ones. And firstly, I was wondering whether that's common.
All sorts of things like that. Yes, not uncommon. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, and then things have been coming up in kind of, I guess, in the form of like lucid dreaming is beginning, even during this course, as I'm going kind of deeper into dealing with these things. Things are starting to come up in dreams that I really want to deal with in my waking life, which I'm taking as a real positive. So yeah, it was interesting what you said about the 90 seconds that we have, that the body has for emotions. And I'm wondering if you have any specific recommendations for kind of PTSD and how we can really go deep with something that's so deeply programmed to shut us down, you know, in terms of reverse meditations. And does that 90-second rule apply to that, or is that a whole different ballgame?
That is a whole different ballgame. What a wonderful set of comments and statements. And again, I didn't say that just because there's a whole different track.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma is its own thing on one level. Yes, on an absolute level, everything we're talking about can handle anything, including trauma. But in my estimation, trauma is a little bit more difficult because it's more multifactorial and it's more impactfully embedded. It's in your soma. I mean, read the work of Venerable. What's his name? Your body keeps the score. When it comes to working with things like trauma, I strongly recommend, yes, you can use these teachings to create a kind of view, but work with a trauma therapist. And I'll share with you, even when I'm working and doing things, sharing teachings, I've taught some stuff with psychologists, even the psychologists will tell you, I am not a trauma person, right? And so here I am teaching in spiritual domains. Even psychologists will say, I'm not a trauma person, go see a trauma person. And so by that what I mean is, or implying is that, yes, trauma is completely workable. But there's a reason why it's difficult, because it's so impactful, it gets lodged so deep into our subtle body, our physical body, our unconscious mind, that we have to use all the armamentarium of skill set that's available to us. And so the way I work, again, with this sort of thing in particular, this is why I'm such a fan of integral approaches, integral studies, where each one of the spectrum of upaya skillful means we have both east and west have a place. And sometimes what happens is, for all kinds of reasons, sometimes egoic reasons, we think that one particular system, whatever, can handle everything. In theory, maybe, yes. In practicality, it doesn't seem to work that way. So I'll pause again to see if that's sort of what you're asking. But when it comes to things like trauma, what I do with stuff like this is I bring because it's a complex, multifactorial, that's what makes it so intractable often, work with all these different systems to help tease it apart. Body work, talk therapy, psychological work, medications when needed, all the things that can be brought to bear to help tease apart the intractability and just the difficulty of this sort of thing. So I'm reasonably well informed on a fair amount of things, but I'm also, it's like, hey, when it comes to this, I'm not saying you're talking to the wrong person, but I'm saying really talk to the specialists who are trained in this. I'm not.
Thank you, Andrew. And finally, for your next course in April, are you going to be going into some of the actual pilgrim spots, or is it going to be
Yes,
solely the
I
pilgrim
am.
of the mind? You are?
No, that's why it's Pure Land, Hidden Land, Sacred Land. That's why it's not just Pure Land. So
Fantastic.
the,
Yeah.
the, the sacred, the places of pilgrimage, the PowerPoints, I've been to these places, many of them. I will share some personal stories. Why do you go there? Inner and outer pilgrimage. Yeah, so it's Pure Land's going to be part of it, but it's going to be like almost one day on each one. Okay?
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. And thank you everyone for the questions as well, which have answered some of my own. Thanks, thank you.
Yeah, the questions have been great. So anyway, whoa,